Welcome back to On the Edge Survival. Today you just want to talk about different ways of cooking food in bad times. You need to be stocking up on food. I stock up on a lot of different soups and beans and such for bad times. Obviously this is stuff that you're not necessarily bugging out, but should a storm or something occur, you've got to have food, and canned goods are a good way of storing up a lot of food relatively cheap. But you also have to think about how are you going to cook that food. I remember back in '94 in this area we had a fairly bad ice storm that caused power outages for about 2 weeks, and it was difficult to cook food. It was difficult to stay warm. There was no heat, no electricity, no nothing. So that's what we're talking about today, keeping that in mind. First, let's look at the Coleman camp stove. This is a recommendation. You need some type of camp stove. This one happens to be a Coleman. I've actually got the box for it right there. They sell these at Walmart, Gander Mountain, Dick's Sporting Goods. Pretty much any place that sells camping items, you can find a camp stove, and there are many different models, and this one I like because it's a very basic model. Has 2 burners. Controls are very simple. We just have we can turn each burner on and off individually, and that connects to a propane bottle, and I've got it hooked up there to show you, but this is what you're looking at. This is propane. Coleman makes this particular bottle here, and these last a pretty good while. Now I would stock up on quite a few of them because there are other things that you can use these for as well, but one bottle of this does go a fairly long way, and we may even do a video in the future testing the length of cook time that you have in one bottle on this particular stove. I think that'd be interesting to know. So anyway, this one is very simple. There's no starter, so you don't have to worry about that going out. We just we've got the bottle hooked up. We just turn the stove on and take a lighter that you can, and we are lit. And we can easily just turn that up or down and off. Now I would advise, I know we're indoors at the moment, I would advise using this outdoors or somewhere with a well ventilated area. But that's it. That's how this stove works, and it folds down and collapses. I actually keep the box with it because I store this in a closet, and it keeps the stove from getting beat up and such. You have this top here removes, and it makes it really easy to clean this stove, and it's very important to keep these things clean, because not only can you use this to cook, but you also have to keep in mind, how are you going to boil water? Now you can do these kind of things over a fire, but if you've done that, you know that it's not always easy. Well, this provides a much easier way of cooking and purifying our water. So that's one option there. We have a couple other options here. These are some different options. This is fairly famous. This is Sterno. You can heat things up with this. It is fairly slow to actually cook with because I have tried, but you can keep things warm. If you really needed to start a fire, this would be easy to start because it's just an alcohol-based product that burns very clean. And this particular can has a heat indicator here, and it will actually change colors when that is hot. So that's nice to know, so you don't pick it up and burn yourself. And this one, let's see, I don't know if you can actually focus. I can't focus on it, but it says burns up to 2 1/4 hours. So that lasts a fairly long while. So that's one option that fit in your pack pretty easy. This top just pops off, and that's where you actually light the can there. This next is my personal. We featured this in our bug out video, the bug out bag. This is the stove part from the black up, and it collapses down really compact, and it fits on top of one of these Coleman. It's a butane propane mix, and these are very, very small and easy to keep in your pack. And the way this particular one works, most of them are fairly simple. We have a gauge on the side here that we can turn, and that's going to you can hear the gas, and it's got a little starter. There we go, and you can turn that off. The good thing about this is, if the starter goes bad on here for whatever reason, you can still take a match. I would prefer that you take something with a little more reach, like this lighter, and you can still light this. So that's good to know. And then when you're done with it, it unscrews from here, folds up. It's very compact and actually fits in this black box. This is another option. This was given to me by a friend of mine, and it is a dual fuel. And I'll show you on the side. It actually reads, use Coleman liquid fuel or unleaded gasoline. So you can use gasoline for this particular stove. So that's another option of fuel, because you may have gas where you may not have propane. So you have an option. Now this one, what I don't like about this stove is that you're actually pouring the fuel into it. The fuel stays with the stove at all times. It's not able to separate like this one. So that's something I don't like about this, because I feel like I'm carrying a bomb in my pack, and that's not something that I want to carry that way. So there you have it. There are a few different options for cooking in bad times. Keep in mind, you also want something to cook with, or in this case make coffee with. There's all kinds of little things that you can buy to make your life easier should bad times come. Thank you for viewing, and please subscribe to On the Edge Survival.